So welcome to all once again. After a 10 minutes break, we are again to start our faculty development program on this advances in solar photovoltaics and its design for e-vehicle. So today we were talking about the e-vehicles. From yesterday only we are talking about the e-vehicles. And in fact, these two interdisciplinary branches, that is renewable energy, prominently the solar photovoltaic and electrical vehicles, are very much related to each other. Okay, so uh, in fact, electrical vehicle requires power or energy, and that energy is being provided by the can be sustainability can be provided by these renewable energy sources. So we have combined the solar photovoltaic with the electrical vehicle, and now we will move towards the batteries to be used in our electrical vehicle. Which type of batteries are being used? Okay, that is power source. So batteries are the power source. Now you have to charge the batteries either through your grid or you can charge through your renewable energy source. Okay, that has been all explained by one of the speaker. But what types of batteries are being used? So we will basically discuss about these batteries in our this lecture. Okay, so I think so. Screen is visible to all. Can anybody can guide me? A screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So our main topic is the electrical vehicles, batteries for electrical vehicles, and these batteries are in fact the power source for the so-called electrical vehicles. Okay, previously also batteries were used in vehicles, but for some auxiliary purpose. Now they are being as the primary purpose, that is to boost up our motors. Okay, either these motors can be of DC motors or these can be induction motor. Okay, so if DC motor is there, then generally in DC motors we go for BLDC motor, brushless DC motor, because they are very robust and the maintenance required is less. So directly batteries can supply. But in case of we are using induction motor, AC, that is AC motor, asynchronous motor, okay, then we have to convert. We have to use some converters, okay, to convert our this DC voltage into AC and then to supply it to our induction motor. So ultimately, in short, I can say it is the battery which plays a prominent role in powering our electrical vehicle. Okay, so my contents will be about related about basics about batteries, then some technical terminology related to battery, then description of different batteries, supercapacitor, and then I will conclude the session. Okay, so we are learning this battery right from our childhood, right? In lower classes of science books also the batteries were there, and we have classified these batteries as a primary. In fact, rather than battery, there was word cell was used. So primary cell and the secondary cell. Okay, so just for your memory purpose, I just want to recall that primary cells are those cells, or primary batteries are those cells which are not rechargeable. Okay, which are not rechargeable, while the secondary are those which can be recharged. Okay, and now since our day-to-day work without batteries cannot be thought, therefore now we are all acquainted with the batteries or cell. So primary cell, previously in our nowadays also, all the Dura cell or everyday cell, okay, these all cell are being mm, uh, come under the category of primary cell, because once their power exhausted, you just throw it. Okay, and the batteries or the cells which are being used in your mobiles or in your so-called the laptops, they are the secondary batteries. Okay, so because they can be recharged again and again up to its life cycle, so basically there's a difference between the word battery and the word cell. Cell is the smallest unit. Okay, just as we have in a biology atom, and atom used to form some combine to form molecules and like this. Okay, so here also we have uh, a cell is the primary unit, and when two or more than cell combined together, we call that device as a battery. And the main purpose of the battery is to convert the chemical energy into electrical energy. Okay, because electrical energy as a you cannot store it, so it can be stored in the form of the chemical energy, and then when it is be required, you convert it into again electrical energy. And three things are there in any battery, or there one is the positive electrode, another is a negative electrode, okay, the anode and cathode, and they are being dipped in a electrolyte, okay. So chemical reaction takes place between them. So this is very basic thing is there, okay. Nothing you have to cram or anything, just chemical reaction goes on, and during this chemical reaction some electrons are being generated, okay, and these electrons start conducting from one anode to another, and we have a current, and that current is being passed to the load, okay. So this is what the basic functioning of any battery or a cell is there. And we are all familiar with the rechargeable battery, that is the lead acid battery, okay, that is being used previously used in our previously now nowadays also being used in our so called the mechanical vehicles, also in our bikes, also in our household purpose, also in inverters and all this we are using this lead acid battery, okay. But after the invention of the lead acid battery, there were many other batteries that came into the market, which could nickel iron, nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, lithium polymer, lithium iron, sodium sulfur, sodium metal chloride, okay. And they all has been tested for electrical vehicles, they all have, because they were not previously meant for electrical vehicles, okay. Some were used in vehicles also, but not for primary purpose, for secondary purpose. But now since uh, uh, every country is going for electrical vehicles, so they started thinking of which type of battery should be used, okay. And the idea is that the person who is using electrical vehicle should be in a comfortable position, okay. Now still many people can ask why most of the people are not going for e-vehicle, okay. Some myths were being told, but some myths are by the Abrar, but some myths are still in a reality. Okay. For example, if you have a car, now if you fill up your tank with petrol, then you can go without stopping at any petrol station to Delhi also. But this is not possible with the present electrical vehicle cars, okay. You have to stop at some places and get it charged, and in charging also it will take time, okay. Because a few months ago I have talked to a person who is a brand ambassador for all these electrical vehicle for a particular company. He told me that yes, it will take 1 to 2 hours to charge your car fully to have a distance of 300 kilometers. So again, the problem is that time will be consuming and people will be in uncomfortable position. So people will be purchasing or go for the electrical vehicle only when they will have a better option than the present option. The present option is through the fuels, and when the all the characteristics of the e-vehicle will supersede the petrol or diesel vehicle, then definitely masses will go for this. So this battery, which you are seeing here, it can be treated as an black box. Okay, it has a range of performance criteria. So my all these slides are moving. Are you able to see the slides with the topic battery?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you, thank you. So some recent development has also taken place, that batteries that can be mechanically refueled, okay. So again, the mechanical power is being used, that is aluminum, air and zinc here, but this is not providing comfortability to the customer, okay. So we will not talk on detail about this battery, but these are also there, okay. Now what are the criteria which will determine the performance of the battery, okay. So there are many technical terms, okay, that you have to understand, okay, before going to study any battery, or you are want to purchase any battery through market in a technical way, okay. Then what are the different technical terms? These are some technical
सर एक चीज और बताना चाहता हूँ।
terms.
वो मैंने देखा था कि इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल में ना जो बैटरी का वजन भी करीब करीब 500 किलो के आसपास होता है सर, जो
हाँ तो
कार में
सर
बैटरी।
वो आपका फैक्टर आ जाएगा अभी सर, उसमें भी एक फैक्टर है जो मैं टेक्निकल टर्म दिखा रहा हूँ, ठीक है।
यस
उसमें
सर।
एनर्जी पर वेट भी आएगा आपका, सब उसमें सारे आ जाएगा, वो सारी चीजें देखनी पड़ती है सर। इज इट क्लियर? सो टू परचेज दैट बैटरी और टू कमेंट ऑन एनी बैटरी इट्स परफॉर्मेंस, many things have to be seen. The one is specific energy, energy density, a specific power, then its typical voltage. Okay. Then one important thing, ampere hour efficiency. Okay. And you will surprised to know that this ampere hour everybody knows, but no one understand. Okay. Today I will explain you what is ampere hour in a very simplest way. Then energy efficiency. Okay. Whether it is commercial feasible or not, availability, cost, what is the operating temperature, is it can operate in a high heat or in very extreme cold condition, then what are the self discharging rates, when one important point, what are the number of life cycles. Okay, because generally we believe that whatever we purchase, it should last long for a period more than 10 years. Okay, for example, I am having a car. Okay, no, I am, once I purchase it as a middle class person, once I purchase it, I want that my car should remain for at least 15 years. Okay, I should dispose it only when government says no, now it is no longer permitted on the roads, then I will dispose it. Okay, so while purchasing the car, I have seen all the things that the car which can sustain for me up to 15 years. Okay, so this is the generally tendency of any people or middle class people. Okay, so the same thing is with the battery also. So while procuring battery for any purpose, even for the electrical vehicle, many things are to be kept in mind. These are some technical terms, we will take one by one. Okay, what is these are technical terms. Okay, in addition to this temperature, what is the optimum temperature, what is discharge age, what is its geometry, these are also been taken into account while making study or procuring the battery for electrical vehicle. So the first parameter I have taken is the cell and battery voltage. Okay, so a battery, as I've already told you, is composed of many cells which are connected in series. So, for example, the traction batteries are being generally specified 6 volt or 12 volt. Okay. So, what happens that a cell is of generally 2 volts. So, the three cells are being connected in series to obtain a voltage 6 volt, or your six cells are connected in series to produce a 12 volt. So that voltage is all very important, because now the, as we are talking about the solar panel, previously up to 2019 or 20, all the solar panels were having and out were meant for 12 volt batteries, but now the people are manufacturing for 24 volt. Okay, so if you are using a standalone system, then you have to see that whether my power conditioning unit is able to boost up my that 12 volt or not, because these all power conditioning unit are now made up of 24 volt or 48 volt. So it is very difficult to find the 12 volt power conditioning unit if you have a panels of 12 volt ratings. So uh, as a layman, I will give you the simplest diagram of the equivalent circuit of a battery. Okay, battery has this voltage, which we call as an open circuit voltage, and an internal resistance. Okay, okay, and this is the terminal voltage. V bat is the terminal voltage. So what you can see that uh, okay, the very simple equation you learned in the lower classes, that the battery voltage is nothing but open circuit voltage minus the drop across the this resistance, which is here written RO, also it should be RO. So what conclusion we are getting? So whenever the load is connected to it, there will be a drop, and the terminal voltage will be always less than the open circuit voltage. Okay. Now this open circuit voltage is the voltage which we obtained when the no load is being connected. There is no current is flowing through it. Okay. So this should be minimum, and this should be minimum only when the internal resistance should be minimum. And you will surprise to know that why we are using lithium ion battery or the lead acid battery. We are using lead acid battery generally because lead acid battery has a very low resistance, that I will tell you later on. Okay, now this is the equivalent circuit diagram of a another battery, because many equivalent circuit has been proposed time to time by different scientists. Okay, some may take into account a stray capacitance also, stray resistance also, but somebody with simple diagram only internal resistance. Somebody like they say that capacitance and resistance are connected in parallel, then in series with the internal resistance. So many models are there. Okay, it depends upon your use, that which model you are using. Okay. Now the next topic is the charge or ampere hour capacity. Okay, so generally, oh, sorry, what is this ampere hour capacity? Okay, so it is generally written on the batteries. The secondary batteries have this unit, amperes hour. Basically, it is nothing but it is the charge capacity. Okay, that how much charge you can battery can deliver to the load. Okay, so you will definitely say that charge की यूनिट तो कूलम होती है, यहाँ पर तो हम एम्पियर आर लिखते हैं. तो बेसिकली इसका रीजन क्या है कि, और ये एम्पियर आर ही कंफ्यूज करता है. अगर इसको हम कह देते कि ये तो चार्ज है तो आप सभी समझ जाते हैं, मगर इनको एम्पियर आर कहा जाता है. इसके पीछे भी लॉजिक है, देयर इज सम लॉजिक बिहाइंड इट. दैट लॉजिक इज दैट द कूलम इज वेरी स्मॉल यूनिट. Okay, coulomb is a very small unit, because how will you define coulomb? Coulomb is nothing. When 1 ampere current flows for 1 second, we define that a 1 coulomb charge has flown. Okay, so but this is a very small unit, so we go for ampere hour. Okay, so ampere hour simply means that 1 ampere current is flowing for 1 ampere of current having some charge is flowing for 1 hour. So when we say 10 ampere hour, what does this mean? It means, now this have many meanings. Okay, that 1 ampere is current flowing for 10 hours. Okay, basically you can understand that 10 units of charge is given by the battery. But technically when we speak, or mathematically we speak, we will say, oh, 1 ampere for 10 hours, or 2 ampere for 5 hours, or 10 ampere for 1 hour. Okay, but to understand in the mind, you can say, oh yes, 10 units of charge are coming out from my battery, or for delivered by the battery. Now, this 10 ampere charge or 10 ampere suppose battery is there. Now this, or I have shown you example of 100 ampere hour battery. Okay, this will always not remain the same. Okay, it will, as you use it, it will discharge it. Okay, and this discharge capacity is very much depend that for how much hours you are using. If you fastly discharge it, then the capacity will drastically reduce, and if you discharge it in a slow manner, then definitely you will get a capacity even after a long hours. Even the it will not go into deep discharge, but if you will discharge it very fast, then it may go into the deep discharge. And generally you will find on the batteries which are available in commercial, this capacity of battery in ampere are represented by letter C. Okay, so when I say 42Ah, so somebody they 42C. Okay, so 42C simply means that this is using this is having a 42 ampere hour capacity. Okay, and if I speak now that this battery is discharging a current of 2C, it means it is discharging a current of approximately 2 into 42. Okay, that is 84 ampere. And if I say it's charging the battery with 0.4C, then 42 multiplied by 0.4, it is discharged by 16.8 ampere. Okay, so this is all about the capacity of a battery, which is expressed in ampere hour. Basically it is nothing but the charge capacity. Okay, so from now onwards, when I say 100 ampere hour, means 100 units of charge are being fed to the load. So this is very clear, I think so. Next come the energy stored. Okay, so definitely it is given charge, it is given charge, it is has a voltage also. So voltage multiplied by the amperes hour will give you the energy in watt hours. Okay, so you will definitely ask, sir, mechanical people will say the unit of energy is sir, joule. But no doubt unit of energy is joule in mechanical, but joule is a very small amount. So in electrical we use a bigger unit which is called watt, which is called the watt hours. Okay, so it is watt hour is nothing but an energy equivalent of working at a power of 1 watt for 1 hour. And mathematically it has been found that 1 watt hour is equivalent to 3600 joules. Okay, so you can see that watt hour is a bigger unit which is used in our electrical engineering. Now next comes the specific energy. Okay, now comes the Dr. Shekhar sir question. Okay, so every battery in every battery is mentioned the specific energy. Okay, in fact it is fixed also for different types of batteries. So it is the amount of electric energy stored for every kilogram of battery. Okay, that every kilogram, for every kilogram, or that is mass of the battery, how much energy has been stored, and thus it is very clear from the definition that the unit will be watt hour per kg. Okay, as written. And uh, how to find out? Just find out the watt hours and divide by the uh, weight, or you will get the weight hour kg. Or once you know the watt kg are, okay, uh, you multiply by its energy, then you will get the approximate battery mass. Because most of these batteries, lithium ion battery or lead acid, they have a specific energy constant. So you multiply by its capacity, okay, you will get the, oh, this will be the my total. You have get an idea that this will be the mass of my battery. Another thing is the energy density. Okay, so whenever the density word come, you might have learned in the physics density. Okay, mass over volume. So some volume is being associated with this. So it is energy density. So definitely the definition is very clear. Electrical energy stored per cubic meter. Per cubic meter means it is a unit of the volume. So per cubic meter of battery volume. Okay, and therefore this units is watt hour per meter cube. And if you know, this is also fixed for all, for the particular type of batteries. So once you know the energy capacity of battery, that can be divided by energy density to show the volume of the battery, how much volume of the battery is required. Then come the specific power. Okay, so previously we have talked about the energy, and now we have talked about the power. So those are from electrical engineering, or those who are from physics background, they may be knowing that the only difference between energy is and power is that when energy is divided by time, we get an power. So, and when the power is multiplied by time, we get energy. So a power which is continuous for a period, that became energy, and the instantaneous energy is called power. This is a very basic definition, and the word specific power is nothing but the power obtained per kilogram of the battery. Per kilogram, per kilogram mass of the battery. Okay, again its unit is watt per kg. Okay, so this is very important. So some batteries have a very good specific energy but a low specific power. So you will surprise to know that these generally in batteries you find these two terms in an inverse form. Good, very good specific energy. Very good specific energy means that it can store a lot of energy. I have already given a definition of specific energy. It is nothing but the energy stored for every kilogram of battery. Okay, like this in the previous slides. So when I say very good specific energy, excellent specific energy, it means it can store a lot of energy. ये बहुत सारी energy को store कर सकता है. ले और बहुत अच्छी specific power है. Specific power means it has to deliver it. So it can a good specific power means it will deliver out very fast. It will deliver out very fast. Second case, a low specific energy means it can store very small amount of energy, and a low specific form means it can move in a very slow manner. It will move, it will give out or deliver the energy in a very slow manner. So in EV terms, they can, if a particular electrical vehicle have a good specific energy and have a low specific power, as I shown in my slide, then you can say that yes, it can store a lot of energy, but it will drive the vehicle very slowly over a very long distance. So these are the two concepts which are very useful, the specific power and the specific energy. And you have to understand, one is for storing and another is for delivering. So while purchasing this, you have to take into account both the things. And a chart has been prepared where it has been shown that what is the relationship between the specific power with specific energy for different battery, and that chart is called Ragoon plot. Okay, so I will show you, this is the one such Ragoon plot. Okay, so this is for the super capacitor. Okay, so super capacitor, this is for the uh, lead acid battery, for nickel cadmium, the nickel metal hydrides. Okay, this is zebra batteries, and these are for the lithium ion batteries. So among this, the very good correlation between up to 100 is between nickel cadmium. Okay, but the generally we go for electrical vehicle, the lithium ion batteries. Another important technical term is the charge efficiency. Okay, so when I say charge efficiency means it means uh, how battery would return the entire charge, okay, to the its load. Okay, so generally we expect whatever charge is there, it will give it to the load, and therefore the efficiency will be 100%. Okay, but it is not the case. Okay, it depends upon the battery temperature, rate of flow of charge, and also the state of the charge. Okay, whether it is at the 70% or whether it is a 50%. So accordingly the efficiency will vary. It is not ideally it is 100%, but many factors plays a role. It is not that the every time it will be 100%. If it is at 70% stage and then you start working, then efficiency will be different. Now if it is present in a very high temperature environment, okay, then it will be different. So many factors are affecting charge efficiency. It is not a constant. Then what is the energy efficiency? Okay, so energy efficiency is the ratio of electric energy supplied by battery to the amount of electricity required to return it to the state before discharge. Okay, so this is also one such uh, technical term. Okay, so very clear from the definition also said that how much electrical, it is ratio of the how much electrical energy is being supplied to that of the energy it again required to return it to the state. Okay, so this is also very important uh, while procuring the batteries. Then come the self discharge rate. Now, if the batteries are being left unused, and this happen in our home also, when we go for these primary cells, if you are not using cells, or if cell is kept inside the radio or any other device or in some toys or there, then after 10 days or 20 days you start using that toy or radio, then you will find it is not working. Okay, so what happening, basically this is called self discharge. They are discharging themselves in the electronic circuit associated with it. Okay, so there are many batteries which cannot be left for long period, otherwise they will go into deep discharge. And once through self discharging process, and once they go into this deep discharge, it is very difficult to regain it. Okay, so self discharge rate is also very important for many of the batteries. Then come the battery geometry. Okay, so batteries you can might have seen these for UPS, for online inverter, they come in different type of shapes. Okay, so these shapes in far depends completely on the designer. Okay, sometimes designer may want to occupy the complete floor area which is available for placing the battery, so that it have a low center of gravity. Sometimes he may want a compact because of the may that the amount of the place allotted to him is very less. So many things are there regarding its shape, but depends upon the customer requirement. Then another important battery temperature range. Okay, uh, up to what maximum temperature it can work, and up to below temperature it can work. Now especially I will give you example of lead acid battery. Now you know that in lead acid battery they have to be kept in a very dark environment and a cool place. Okay, if you place the lead acid battery in a direct sunlight area, then the acid inside it may get boiled up and it may burst the whole system. Okay, so temperature plays also important of, and certain type of battery, like you will see the uh, so a particular type of battery is there which discharge its battery at a very fast rate and thus became hot. So their cooling fans are being there required to cool it, otherwise it will may burst. Okay, so that also you have to take into account what is the temperature limits of the battery we are using. The next come the battery life and number of deep cycles. Okay, so this is very important. Battery life is being uh, everybody is interested in the battery life, that it will remain for 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. Just as in solar panel, the manufacturer guarantees that it will work for up to 30 years. And in 30 years the guarantee is given in slotted form, that up to 10 years it will work up to 100%. After 10 to 20 years it will work with 90% efficiency, and from 20 to 30 years it will work for 80% efficiency. Similarly in battery life, the it has to be given that it will work for 5 years or 10 years, And further, what are the number of deep cycle allowable in a particular battery? Okay, it may happen that after 10 deep cycles, it enter to 10 deep cycles, it may not work. So these are also being mentioned on the brochure or on the battery when you are purchasing it. Now, after going through these technical terms related to the batteries, let's study about the different types of batteries which can be used for our electrical vehicles. So one such, the old battery, the old technology batteries, the lead acid batteries. Now these are still being used. Okay, and the only reason is that they are very cheap. Okay, very cheap, and particularly in India, it is being widely used because lead is very much available in our India, and sulfuric acid we can already manufactured it. So that is why it is being widely used in our electrical vehicles and other devices also. Further, maintenance required is not too much. That all these factors combined, that people generally go for lead acid battery, but they are not efficient. They are not efficient as lithium ion batteries. Okay, but the cost factor, the maintenance, and all these are uh, provoking us to go for lead acid battery. And the phenomena is very simple. Two electrodes, as I've already told you, in any battery there will be three things: anode, cathode, and electrolyte. So here the anode is there, okay, and there is the so-called negative plates. Okay, the cathode has a spongy lead as their active material, while the positive plates consist of the lead dioxide material, and these two electrodes are immersed in a electrolyte made up of dilute sulfuric acid. So reaction takes place as shown in the lead plus lead oxide plus sulfuric acid. So lead sulfate is formed and water is formed, and in between and in during this reaction some electrons are generated, and these electrons are only responsible for its conduction process. So very simple process. Okay, and this is the picture. You can see that how inside the battery looks like. There is a positive electrode, lead dioxide is there. The negative electrode is made up of the lead. Okay, in between there is a sulfuric acid is there. This is one cell, this is second cell, this is third cell, and they are being partitioned. So this is the partition. They are no doubt they connected in series, but they are physically separated by an partition. Okay, and in this way you can construct a 12 volt or 24 volt or 48 volt. uh, Generally they are available in 12 volt or 24 volt, and if your requirement is 48 volt, then you connect two 24 volt in series. If your requirement is of 72 volt, again you can connect the two 24 volt, three number of 24 volt in series, like this way. Very peculiar feature of the lead acid battery is the low internal resistance. So drop is very less, and the reason behind it that the capacity of cell is being proportional to area of plates, and the internal resistance of this is inversely proportional to the plate. The result is that the internal due to low internal resistance, they are being widely used because drop is very less. So if you are using a lead acid battery of 12 volt, then the drop is very 0.01 volt is there. Okay, so it can retain its 12 voltage for a longer period. So I have just shown you a direct number of cells into 0.02 upon C10. C10 is the ampere hour capacity at 10 hour rate. So these are some standard nominal battery parameters for lead acid battery. Okay, so you can see the specific energy, energy density. These are all acceptable limits. Okay, for an ordinary customer, and internal resistance, as I already told, is very low. Ampere hour efficiency is approximately 80%. Okay, and self discharge rate is also is there, but it is 2% only per day. Okay, then it can take an 8 hour RAM to recharge up to 90%. Okay, then the next battery is the nickel cadmium batteries. Okay, so they are at present not being used because the cadmium is a very harmful uh, element. Okay, but it has one time it has replaced the lead acid battery. Okay, because they have their working is very fast. They can charge the system very fast. Okay, So what they uses a nickel oxyhydroxide for the positive electrode and the metal, the cadmium for the negative electrode. Okay. Again, the process chemical reaction goes on, and thereby they liberates the electrons, and these electrons thus start the process of the. We will not go into detail the chemistry. Just we know that the what are the electrode material, what are the anode, and what is the cathode. So what are its pro? That it is a very high specific power. Therefore, as I've already, specific power means it can delivered very fast. High specific can deliver very fast, and a long life cycle. Okay. Then it can operate in a temperature range of -40 to +80 degree. Okay, and the self discharge rate is also very less. So and further, this battery is very stable, very robust, mechanically strong, and electrically it can be recharged within an hour. But the problem with that, each cell, because I already told battery is formed from cell. Lead acid battery, each cell is of 2 volt, while this is of 1.2 volt. So if we connect 10 volts, then we will get 10 cells, then we will get a 12 volt battery, while the same can be accomplished with 6 cells for a lead acid. This clearly depicts that the cost of cadmium, that this battery is very costly in comparison to lead acid battery. And secondly, the cadmium is also very costly. And lastly, but the most important, cadmium is not environmental friendly, it is very harmful. And that is why these nowadays generally we have seen that in the batteries generally it is cadmium free. Okay, because it is a very poisonous element. Okay, so though its advantages are very good, but the main disadvantage, that is not environmental friendly, it is not being used. These are some nominal battery parameters. Okay, for nickel cadmium batteries, you can see that a very good specific power is there, 125. Okay, but nominal voltage I have already told is 1.2. Okay, it can operate in a high range of -40 to +180 degree. Okay, number of life cycles are very good, 1200. Okay, it can recharge within a 1 hour period. Okay, and these all beauties at that time in the late 80s provoked the people to use the nickel cadmium batteries, but later on its bad consequences come before the people, and therefore now it is being seldom used. Then to replace this nickel cadmium, the another battery was proposed, and that was the nickel metal hydride batteries. Okay, so these were introduced commercially in the last decade of 20th century, that is 1990. Okay, and it has a similar performance with the nickel cadmium battery. Okay, that but only difference is that the nickel metal hydride battery, the negative electron uses hydrogen that is absorbed in a metal hydride, which make it free from cadmium, which was a considerable advantage, which I have already mentioned that the cadmium is not environmental friendly element, and therefore we have replaced it by a nickel metal hydride battery. Okay, the chemical reaction is being written for you. Again, the same process there. Now this is a reversible, this arrow is showed that it is a reversible process, and therefore they can be recharged also. So as far as energy density and power density both are concerned, metal hydride cell is somewhat better than nickel cadmium better. Okay, so we have replaced one poisonous or harmful material by a good one, and also we have obtained high density and power density. So nowadays the nickel metal hydrides batteries are also being used. So these are the some nominal battery parameters for nickel metal hydride batteries. But the con is that they self-discharge very fast. And during that, due to this rapid self-discharge, they liberates a lot of heat. And therefore, these batteries are always associated with fan. As you can see, these are cooling fans are being there. So when cooling fans are being associated with them, so what will happen? Okay, it will increase the cost. So these are some cones. Rapid discharge will generate a lot of heat that can damage your this covering also, and thereby also cooling to provide cooling, we have to insert fans, therefore cost increases. Okay, so this is one of the drawbacks of these nickel metal hydrides batteries. Then in 1980s, a new type of batteries entered into this battery market, and that is the lithium battery. Okay, and the only and the very biggest advantage is that they have a very high energy density. Okay, very high energy density. That is, they can store this a large amount of charge in them. Okay, and two types of lithium batteries have been developed so far: the lithium polymer battery and the lithium ion battery. So both working are means the material used are some different. So I can give you example: lithium ion battery, you all know, that are being used in our mobiles, okay, in our laptops and all this. And can anybody can give me where lithium polymer battery is being used? Okay, you will find the lithium polymer battery is generally used in our power charger, our power bank. Okay, so whenever you purchase power bank, you will see that there it is written lithium poly but not lithium ion. Okay. So what is the construction feature? Okay, that lithium polymer battery uses lithium metal for the negative electrode and a transition metal intercalation oxide for the positive one. So what happens when lithium metal uh, acting as a negative electrode react with this so-called metal intercalation oxide? Then what happens? An oxide is formed, and also the electrons are being released. So by simple this equation, the chemical reaction has been repeated, and this is reversible also. Okay, so it can be recharged also. Okay, so this is the function of the lithium polymer battery. The next come the lithium ion battery. Okay, in the lithium ion battery, the lithium is the anode material. The anode is the carbon material, which is generally your the graphite. Okay, uh, and another is the your lithium, which act as an anode. Okay, so when again doing electrolyte, when the reaction takes place, what happens? The electrons are emitted and their process start. This is the overall chemical reaction for the battery. You can see. Okay, the as nominal properties of lithium ion are also being shown. So you will find that in all respect, these lithium ion batteries have a better parameters in comparison to the lead acid or nickel cadmium or nickel metal hydride, and that is why they became the first choice for any application, and which include the mobile laptop in addition to electrical vehicles also. So but in India the problem is that we are importing this lithium from China or from USA or from Germany. So that is why the cost for we people is very very high. Okay, and one important thing is that these whenever when you purchase any e-vehicle, then all protection should be there. I have already told in the beginning of my class that some a very bad event happened in our city only yesterday, that a complete showroom of e-bikes uh, fired just because they have left the 40 vehicles to be charged overnightly. So what happened? It has been overcharged, and probably there was no such protection system was there to stop that overcharging, and therefore the battery get burst, and it is fired, and that fired catch up the other vehicles also, and near about 40 vehicles burnt. So uh, while overload protection, deep discharge protection, everything should be incorporated with this battery, then only we can have a good performance. So self-discharge is also very low. The number of cycles, no doubt, is greater than 1000, less than nickel cadmium, but it is not harmful. So that is why most of the people are going for the this lithium ion battery. So a lot of research is going on, and the focus is on another type of material called supercapacitor. So we all have learnt about the capacitor in the lower class. So capacitor is nothing but the two metallic plates separated by an insulating or dielectric medium. Okay, but these supercapacitor, these are the devices which have a very high specific power and low specific energy. That is the beauty of this high specific power. Okay, so very clear that they can deliver the power, very fast, but The disadvantage is low specific energy. That is, they can store less energy. They can store the less energy. Okay. So where we want to have a very fast work or fast performance, then we can go for the supercapacitor. So at present the research is going on that the can we have a very high specific energy for this high specific power supercapacitors. So once we will able to achieve it, then definitely the supercapacitor will be used in place of lithium and battery. Okay, and they can be manufactured at even in our India, because only metallic plates are required with some dielectric medium. Okay. Uh, Again, the problem is that the voltage level is very low. Even a big size capacitor will also have a 1 and 3 volt. Okay, so again, if you want to increase the voltage, we have to again add more and more plates. Okay, in series we have to add more and more capacitor in series, so that will increase the cost, and therefore again it will not be economical. Okay, so dear colleagues and my participants, today I have given an overview of the different types of batteries to be used in our which can be used in our electrical vehicles. Among them are the lead acid battery, and in between that there were people were started using the nickel metal hydride also, but now they are switching toward the lithium ion battery, and the supercapacitor is also in the race. And once we able to have a high specific energy for the supercapacitor, definitely it will dominate over the other battery devices. So thanks a lot, okay, for listening me and bearing patience. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
so any question, please?
No, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, Piyush Pathak sir. Sir.
I have already written my question. IS
Okay, okay.
standard 17017. I want to know what is the security parameter, which incident happened in Udaipur. You are saying that overheating and overcharging is responsible for the complete burning of the battery and burst of the battery. So what is the security parameters which are given in IS standard 17017?
Sir, actually what happens that the Bureau of Indian Standards have mentioned everything that an electrical vehicle uh, should be associated with all types of security element, that is if it is overcharged, then there should be a cutoff mechanism should be there. Okay, a cutoff mechanism should be there, that the charging should be separated, the battery should be separated from the charging mechanism. Okay, but the reality is, and similarly for the deep discharge also. Okay, that if it is during the running period, okay, if the batteries goes beyond a particular deep discharge, which is generally 50% or 40%, as we mentioned in the standard. Okay, then it should not operate it for the propulsion purpose. But generally what happens, I will like to tell you that whatever the e-vehicle market we are seeing, these are all China made. Okay, they have a label of Indian brand.
China made instrument are not follow the IS standard or these institute.
Yeah, sir, that is what I am saying, na, sir. They have they are hiding the things that yes, we are manufacturing it, but in fact they procure the all the things from the China. They just put their design, and the China just provide them through some other medium like Indonesia or all like this. Okay, and then they just put their name brand. Okay, so when you go for low quality things, okay, then these things are being avoided, like proper protection system or all this. While the Indian standard, if you go through it, it is completely mentioned that what should be the security system to be provided.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Hmm. So uh, I will can just show you. Uh, so at present I don't finding that. So I will send you that complete sir manual in that everything is being mentioned, that what are to be precaution to be taken while charging or discharging or any battery. Okay. But what happens, some people are somehow managing, and that is why such type of incident are happening. Further, temperature, like it should not be in a hot atmosphere, or it should be placed in a dark atmosphere. So lot of things are being overlooked, and that is the cause of the this type of event, like firing. Yes, Shekhawatji, any question, please?
No, sir. Thank
Sir,
you.
sir, what is the common security measure which will be followed by the common person? Let us suppose I change my battery Samsung mobile last 1 year 2 times, and I feel that there is a excess charging process. So charging process is responsible for the swelling of the battery. So is it right or not?
No, it is not right, sir. If it is swelling, then definitely the manufacturer is not providing, is not satisfying the guidelines of the government. Okay, sir. I don't know, sir. You are using which mobile, sir? Samsung.
Yes, yes. I am using Samsung mobile and Samsung original battery failed
Your
after 6 months, and then after I change it.
basically, sir, what happens that these people, these manufacturer has are very crooked, and they have provided, I think so, for battery only warranty of 6 months is there. Okay. Okay, so after 6 months, if any manufacturing defect, in fact, if your battery is swelling, then it is a manufacturing defect only. But unfortunately, it has swelled after 6 months only. So I think so they will not replace it. But the swelling phenomena should not be there, because swelling phenomena is due to the fact that your overprotection system has failed, and overprotection has failed means that battery is continuously being charged if you have put it for overnight. Okay, and this is the only one of the reasons, sir. But since they are providing for 6 month only warranty, therefore you have to go for a new one.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So it is now 9:30. So if you have no question, then I should end this meeting, and we will again meet tomorrow with some interesting session. I hope you have liked this session. So no question. I'm ending the session. Thank you very much for joining and sparing your valuable time.